Hello, welcome to Milton Valley Road, mountain building, where we will continue with the mountains and probably also the building. So just starting it, well, currently it's loading the main menu, as you can see at the bottom there, but it's just kind of doing its processes. Prosopodes? No. Persephone? No, that's something completely different. So, that's what I'll be streaming today, as you can probably tell. Star Tug soon. Yeah, I know, Star Tug. Hello, Kagofango! And, wait, Slovak Eagle? Wait, Slovak, is that Slovak Eagle? How do you pronounce that? Sorry. If it is loading the bottom menu, go to the main menu and root section again. Nope, it's still loading. Maybe that trick only works on Windows. Wait, Slovak Eagle, that name sounds so familiar. Have you been in some of my streams before? Yeah, that's the stream title. Rip. Hungarian Falcon? Nah. Czech Vulture? Don't think so. Slovak Eagle. There we are, that's it. Yeah, no, newbie here. Well, good to have you. So, you join us for apparently some technical difficulty. No. Just loaded. Good. Apparently you don't join us for technical difficulties. It's now just actually loading the route, as you can see. But joking aside, hello! How have you been? Is it the mountains that have attracted you to my streams again? Just while waiting for others to finish holes in golf it as I watch them at them with my signature look of superiority. Oh right, I see. I'm good. Good. I'm sure you will this little online community very wholesome. Wait, what? I'm sure you will find, probably. How about you? Well, mostly good. Some unpleasant things happened, but mostly good. So here we are. Now you might think, oh, that's a bit bluish. Well, that's because it's deliberately like that, so I can see the contours of the land, but I don't need to see those anymore because I did already paint the rocks on here. So let's change this over a bit so that it looks more like it usually does, with a nice yellowy tones. Right, at first I thought you meant golfing RL. And yeah, as a Slovak, the mountains have called. Great, so here we are. Build that across here. Build that back there. Last time we spent pretty much all 2 hours of the stream deleting trees. So now that we've done that, we'll continue doing that. So, well, we've deleted a lot of the trees on the rocks. So, yeah, shaken, not stirred, I know. So if we look along all of this here, you can see on the rocky bits, the trees have been deleted. Along all of this, all the way back here. Hello, VGR, welcome. And on here, all the trees have been deleted, basically below this road. So what we still need to do is delete the trees on the rocks above the road here. But it doesn't go as high up, so there isn't as much to delete. And also on this little slice here. So I think we'll start with this little slice here, so then we'll have the whole thing, the whole side finished. Hello, Albastru! Wow, lots of people coming that are nice people, basically. But yes, with a longer render distance, this looks really, really nice as well. Let's just see if I can turn the render distance up for a little bit, just so we can see this a little bit better. So if I turn it up to like 10 kilometers, Hold on. There we go. That's more what it looks like. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Right, now let's turn that back down for performance reasons, even though it doesn't appear to be lagging that much. Let's just do it because we don't need to have it that high at the moment. Hello, yes. Damn, that's a valley, yes. Thank you. Give me a pine needle tree tea on the rocks. Exactly. Hello, a little laggy today because I'm uploading a couple jiggies. A couple jiggies. Have you been playing Banjo-Kazooie? To OneDrive, but glad to be here. Good. Hi, yep. Well, there's been quite some stuff happening on that radio station, yep. I'm here for half an hour or so, off for half an hour, and then back for the final hour, if all goes well. If all goes well. Well, sounds like you're having a busy time at the moment. Are you going to reformat your drive or something like that? So that would make sense. You're uploading stuff to OneDrive, making a backup, and then you're either formatting your drive or maybe updating Windows. That could also be it. Because that smells like you're making a backup to me. And if you're making a backup, that probably means drastic things are going to change. So what's up, basically? Hopefully it's not WhatsApp, but anyway. Because the event was SSTV transmission of Aboba's entire setup. Oh, I see. And let me tell you, the guy got some serious hardware. Well, he probably does. So, last time we pretty much spent the entire 2 hours deleting trees, so now let's spend another 2 hours painting the terrain underneath the remaining trees. No. We'll spend another 2 hours deleting more trees. And after that, I can just use the texture replace tool for most of this. I just have to rework the edges where it transitions to grass. Because the copy-paste tool has, well, it's only squares that are aligned to the grid, so can't really do transitions that well. Jiggies, yeah. Gaha and all that. I heard none of that because my stream was frozen the whole time, but I guess my answer to be yes and hope for the best. No, he asked if you were doing a backup. Hello, humans. Hello, Anthony Zarson too. It appears that the mountains are attracting all the tourists today. Well, no, you're not really tourists. You're at least honorary citizens. I'm joking. You're not honorary citizens. That's not a very good title to have. Right. I'll just move this one a little bit closer. Oh, then my answer's no. GE Junk. Aw, what's up with General Electric? Uploading Pixies. Pixies? Oh, Pickies from today. Oh, good. Nice. Good golly gee, this feels like old times again. Yeah. Well, for that to truly feel like that, then Mr. Snipes and I'll Bass Through and the two Chris's would also have to be here. But yeah, you're right. It does feel a bit like that. Also, Slovak Eagle, please keep us updated of how the golf game's going. I mean, after all, we need some excitement in here. But no, if you want to keep us updated, if you think it's going to be at least mildly entertaining, please go ahead. In fact, I can post those SSTV pics on the channel. Oh, please go ahead. Although I can't check them at the moment, unless it's really, really relevant and to the conversation, in which case I can open up Discord and check them. Half of our bus routes are on diversion at the moment, so Pixie Heaven or Picky Heaven. How do you pronounce that? If you type it like that, is it Pixie Heaven or Picky Heaven? Alright, humans are so rare. We are totally not about to hit 8 billion people. Well, it depends what you compare it to. If you compare humans to insects, then yeah, humans are incredibly rare. I mean, sometimes you can go for hundreds of miles or even thousands of miles without seeing a single human. Which I know is true of insects as well because of oceans, but anyway, I was talking more about land. So, you don't like General Electrics? Thought, though they're rather staticky because they're using 60s tech. No, that's fine. 60s tech is quite atmospheric in that way. G locomotives are crap. They catch fire, throw smoke everywhere, and break randomly. Well, are you sure that that's G's fault, or could that be deferred maintenance or something? I don't know. Shadows Albastru is here though. I know Albastru. Oh, so Albastru is the Chris and the other Chris and Mr. Snipes. Is that what you're saying? In addition to being a Roman. Interesting. And I mean an SPQR Roman, not a Romanian Roman. Or indeed a Greek one. So, right. You probably meant Mr. W. Oh, did I say that? Alright, yeah. I'm getting all the holes in ones. Holes in ones. Ah, congratulations. No entertainment. Lol. Aww. And here I was hoping for an entertaining stream. Well, I guess that's gonna be that. So, oh hey, Subbeagle, congrats. About 30 minutes behind though. Alright. You don't like these? Let's see. Picky. Oh, pickies. So, yes. I would have thought so too. They are okay. Sorry if you asked that a decade ago. Yeah, when you're about 2 millennia old, sometimes you misplace a decade here or there. It happens. It's fine. Yes, it can be a little annoying for other people, but it's fine, really. So now we've done that side. Let's save. Yep, because it's G's design. I like the U50s myself. And also it's only G design engines. EMDs don't do that normally. Belfast and Unity Pond is coming along well. I would let you review it, but I have only track and ballast down at the moment. But when I get more stuff down, feel free to review it. Yes, well, if you would like me to review your route, I would be happy to do so. As long as it, well, actually that might work. I was going to mention 2 things. One, as long as I don't have to download any third-party or payware content for it. And the other thing was about the Trainz version discrepancy. But the Trainz version discrepancy is not going to be an issue any day now, because I will be updating to the newest macOS version, which means I will be able to update TRS-19, which will mean that multiplayer will work again with TRS-19, and also that I'll be able to flawlessly, hopefully, load routes made in the newer snapshots. So that's really good news. Also, Sliver Eagle, if you're hearing me, I am really looking forward to seeing the ETS2 or ATS, I don't know, mini games with Kango, and I really hope that we'll get a chance to play some of that together as well, because it looks really fun and I'd love to give it a shot sometime. Which doesn't mean that I want to destroy it sometime, it means I would like to try it sometime. So yes. Will that route feature EMDs or Gs or both? Both. Nice. Here is the roster. Ooh, Charlotte Eyes! Heart! Exciting! Kiss? Okay. Thanks for the kiss. And that's a strange roster. Oh yes. Aw, that's great. That's great news. Okay, so quick update on the route. Deletion of trees is progressing at the expected rate, and we are still about a year behind schedule. Which is literally true, because we're about a year behind when I thought this route would be done. Apparently I vastly underestimated the amount of time that it would take if I only developed it on stream with chat and things, but it's a good journey, and I'm glad that we're taking it. Right. I'm not going to read that entire list out. I'm just going to scan it. Yeah, great. Payware engine. Yeah, you can use a different engine for that when you send it. Yeah, that'll be much appreciated. Sorry. Seemingly will get a new trailer sometime next month. You can do a reaction to it on one of your streams. Oh yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. Wait a minute, that means wait, when I've updated to the newest service pack, which I will be able to do in the next few days, probably, then not only can I finally play on Scar Hills multiplayer for the first time ever, literally I started that route in like 2018, or no, even before that, like 2016, something like that, with the intention of having it as a multiplayer route, and I have never, sorry, and I've never been able to play multiplayer on it. So not only will I be able to do that, but we'll also be able to finally play multiplayer on CE Mini together, if that's something you're up for. Oh yay, that would be neat. Shadows React 001, CE Mini Trailer 2. Reading that title, I know it's a joke, but reading that title, the first emotion that I feel is a loathing feeling. Or you can do one to the old trailer too. And or Polaris trailer. I have Polaris. Snowmobiles. Ah, how many? Ah, I meant Polaris as in Slovak route. Oh, I done. Misunderstanding. Oh yeah, Shardais can react to all 3 trailers, Polaris and the 2 CE mini ones. Yes, but please not all at the same time, otherwise I'll miss stuff. Lol. Not again. You know, Kango, the best thing to do if you don't like playing that game is just to not play that game. 2. You own 2? I have 2 snowmobiles, I see. Well, I don't own it, my dad does. Ah, well, I'm glad he lets you use it sometimes, probably. I don't know. XD. Ah, gotcha. I'd say we're making good progress. And yes, I know I've said this in the past 2 streams as well, but it really, really does feel good to be back in the mountains here. Because while I did enjoy working on the flat areas and in the industrial districts, it did get a little bit, well, it did get a little bit boring doing the scenery between the towns and industries. Not very boring, but a bit boring. Because it's just a whole lot of the same. Just fields, 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 occasional woodland, basically. But in the mountains, of course, there's so much more variety and more challenges to overcome. Like, for example, when we get to doing the waterfalls over here, yes, Slovak Eagle will be putting in waterfalls over here that the train will cross. That is something very interesting and challenging, and something that you should totally watch the stream for. Or if you don't watch the stream, watch the archive, or watch both. Who knows? Maybe you missed something the first time, then you can watch the archive if you want to. Right, he does. It's good. See how is everything tonight. So how is it tonight? King Finger or Shadows, have either of you ever been to America? Well, not that I can remember. Let's put it like that. Yeah, I can just about smell the fresh mud here. Me neither. Me never. Or Asia, or Africa, or Oceania. Or Pacific Ocean Island. How about a dam and go across it? Well, we've already got the dam up here. Hold on, if you remember this. We've already got the dam up here. and I kind of want this to be a unique place here, so I don't really want another dam. But the way I had imagined it is having a waterfall and then having the tracks cross over the river just after the waterfall, so that if you go the other way, you're pretty much on water level, and then you can just see the river drop away just as you cross it, and you can look out the window and look down the waterfall as you cross over, and then follow the valley down. And then a little bit after that, Willis 1961 suggested to have a waterfall coming from the side that the tracks go in front of, like a tributary to the main river. And so that's probably what we're going to do there as well. So that's the current plan for this area. Right. You made one, or directly above the waterfall. Nice truss bridge. One side is shallow, the other deep drop-off. Maybe. We'll see. Also, that lake is a very unique shape. Thank you, because it is a... What's the word? The English word for Stausee. It is an artificial lake. Because if you go down here, it's actually a valley where two rivers met. So it's a valley carved by this river on this side and this river on the other side. And those two rivers go at the base of this valley and basically just combine here and then continue this way and continue down there. But when the dam was built, it basically just raised the water level, and that's why the lake has this strange shape. Right. I think I'm stably back in the present now. Good. Have you managed to re-engage the temporal lock then? I'm assuming. Let's see where... Oh, right, I need to continue here. Yay, great. Well, damn. That's a solid plan if I've ever seen one. Ooh, that's pretty cool. It looks awesome. Aw, thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. Also, do you all see SES's newest blog post about the Alps, part of their ATS Australia rebuild? Yes, I have. Looks really good. Absolutely stunning. Screenshots here, in my opinion at least. Well, I'm pretty sure that that's a fact that there are the screenshots there. It doesn't really have is in your opinion if it's if other people can confirm that, and it's a repeatable thing. So you can repeat the test and it'll return the same map. Unless you want to get what's the word? Philosophical. Unless you want to get philosophical about existence as a whole, in which case, yeah, that is totally your opinion that they are there. And technically nobody can convince you that it is more than just an opinion. From a certain point of view. Okay, just finished posting all current pictures. Thank you. If you want me to, I can open up Discord and look at them now, but I would rather look at them later and continue deleting trees and work on the route for now. Doesn't even hold a candle to the stock maps Alps, I'd say. There are 9 in total. Alps? Oh, pictures. Barrier Lake, water reservoir? Maybe water reservoir. But I don't know. Maybe just an artificial lake. Why? Yeah. I remember. I know what happened. You said something very similar to that, if not the exact thing, when I was building the dam, and because I flew over that area, it reminded you of when you did that, and now you've said it again. The pleasures of nostalgia. So am I worried. Why cobble here? Why not cobble here? What is cobble? Where is here? Why am I here? Who am I to judge why the cobble is here? Maybe if the cobble could place signs, maybe it would place a sign saying, why Anthony here? Yes. Remember when I did that the first stream I watched? Yes, I remember. I remember very much. Well, you don't have much to look at, only very staticky images of radio equipment. Okay, well, I'll look at it after the stream then. Well, you don't have... Alright. Trust me, if you know Shadows, he will turn everything he can philosophical. What? Oh, come on, that's not true. I mean, if I did do that, would life really be worth living anymore? Oh, wait. Read it. I did read it. They all seem very homemade. Yeah, I mean, I'll look at the images after the stream. Unless you really want me to look at them now, in which case I can open up Discord and look at them now. No. Okay, then I'll look at them after the stream. No hurry. Good, good. That was a quote from your 70th live stream. Oh, I see. Sort of sounded familiar. Not in the magic sense, but in the memory sense. When I'm 100 years old, my grandkids will be on my lap and I will show them the first stream I watched because it is the greatest stream ever. You made that, by the way, not me. Yep, I know. I remember. The first quote was W talking in VC 12 us true when he had said, didn't expect it to get philosophical. Oh, right. Yes. I remember that as well. Probably save again. Trainz, what was your favorite stream for MVR? That is a tough question to answer. One of my favorites is the one where Slovak Eagle and Swedar and Zefek as well? I don't know. Others found it and joined in, and I got invited to the VIP voice chat because I remember I was building Northasea, and that was when I really joined that community. And also that community joined my community. And so from that perspective, that is one of my favorites. But also I really like the third stream with the horror point sightings as well. And in terms of later streams, I really also like the one where we were building the yard and the whole coach yard thing got started. That was also good. And building, I also really enjoyed building the cement works. Simply because it's such a, I've never made a design like that where it's a loop track around the outside with sidings in the loop track and then looping in around itself with bridges going over, and that was good. So as of now, UV 76's Spectro just shows the text UV 76 home of the free radio waves in Russian over and over again. I see. Alright, Trainz, I remember that to bits. Wait, you remember it to bits. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Indeed. Twitter as well, brand Slovak. Oh, Mr. Snipes, you are here. We were just, because Kangofango just a bit earlier said, just like the old days. And then I said, well, if Mr. Snipes were here, yes, granted, I did also say that two other Chris's and Twitter was here and things. But now you're here. Hello. Welcome. How are you doing? You might be interested to know that in the Star Trek game, the character you made, you know the one who got blinded because he was exposed to space? Well, good news. He's gotten a Geordie-style visor to help with that. Bad news. There was a complication during the surgery, and your character hasn't quite woken up yet. But other than that, everything's fine. Also, quite a few of the player characters got put in front of a court, partially because of criminal negligence resulting in manslaughter, as well as gross violation of Starfleet prisoner conduct regulations, as well as other stuff. So, yeah. Also, the freed specialists who had their memory blocks in, we're finally finding out a solution to that. Only problem is there was another complication rolled, and so a specific drug was not remembered that is needed, because the knowledge comes from the other timeline that only one character knows, and that character isn't part of the main crew anymore. The player is, but the character isn't. And so there's been some stuff going on with that, and it has resulted in temporarily loss of all memories, but who knows if it's actually temporary. And so now that drug has been ordered while we're rebuilding Riser, which is pretty much being destroyed because someone yanked a thing out of a sabotage on Riser. If you want me to go into any detail about any of those things, please go ahead, but I will warn you it may take several hours. So, let's read a bit more. What stream was your least favorite and why? I don't know. I would have to say probably... Probably that one stream where Mr. W was in voice chat and we got talking about parental responsibility. And there were... And that conversation, even though it was a good conversation, it was not a conversation that I enjoyed. And I guess that would be my least favorite one. But it was still a good stream. We built a lot and I liked the scenery. And it was just that little part of it anyway. And it wasn't that bad. It's just that if I had to pick a least favorite one, it would be that one. Or one of the other ones where we just built regular flat landscape for all of it, and yeah. Anyway, they came to your stream when you were doing that little dirt back road in North Asia. From the MBR. Trainz, oh yes, Horror Point Landings, good job, so it works. Wait, hold up, scratch that, music's playing. Ooh, hello, yes, welcome. Ms. Snipes, I have never met you before. Well, now it's the old days. The official community reunion stream, eh? Yes. Stream number 26 was great too. First one I joined live, and also the one where you had built the dam. Damn, that was nice. Brain damage? Probably a little bit, yeah. Well, yes, there had to be implants made for the visor to work. And because the thing was, the player who had to make the rolls for the surgery, you know, there's a pool of points that are called momentum, and they can be built up using by rolling dice, by attempting tasks and succeeding at the tasks more than you need to, and those points can then be spent to make other things easier. Now the player had chosen, there were three things. One was your character's surgery to give in those implants so that your the visor will work. The other two were to attach prosthetic legs to two other characters. Yes, there were two other characters who were missing their legs. It's a long story. It may or may not involve an elevator and a disruptor, right, pistol. Anyway, or part of the legs. And of course, the most difficult one is the one that involves brain surgery. So, oh, hello there. Oh, what was that? Sorry, I don't know why I didn't get the notification sound. But hello, thank you for coupling up. So, the player who was playing the doctor in that situation, not the doctor, but the doctor in that situation, had a choice of in which order he would like to do the operations. So the player, even though there were hints made of maybe doing other ones first, doing the other ones first, the player decided to do the one that had brain surgery first. Now that meant that there was very little momentum, if any, there to make it easier, and so a complication was rolled that it couldn't, So, and then the character did the other easy ones afterwards, which it wasn't done deliberately like that. It just, the player didn't, I think the player didn't grasp the impact of his choice. But yeah, that's what happened. So, Liza, manslaughter? What the hell happened in that private game? Well, let's just say a 10-mile long elevator shaft was involved, and a ladder that wasn't inset, and an elevator that was traveling upwards of 60 miles an hour. Several hours. Yep. VGR, basically there was this 10-mile elevator shaft going into the planet's surface, into the magma where there is a geological stabilization station. The lift was at the bottom, someone started climbing up in the shaft, and the one in the lift pressed the button for it to go up. I've been really enjoying some SnowRunner this past week. Ooh, that's nice. Let's see. Oh yes, there are still a few areas here, I think, where I need to delete trees, but I think we're just about done deleting trees. In which case, well, there are still a few areas, but after that, we can get started with the replacement of the grass textures with the forest textures. Ugh, that's not a way to go. Yep. Cost one character, well, one NPC that was controlled by a player at that time, his life, which is actually where the trial started from. And the other character lost part of his legs, along with having psychologically induced paralysis now. So that's not fun. But consequences are a thing that have to happen for there to be any meaning in the story, for there to be any suspense. If the things the players do don't have consequences, then, well, it just doesn't make it very interesting. Yep, and the lift makes that 10-mile journey in a matter of minutes. Never trust an elevator. There's actually a thing in that game where they previously had an elevator that tried to kill them because, well, I say that. It was controlled by a sentient energy being in the AI which felt threatened and was trying to protect itself. Hey, XD. Oh, hello there. Oh, right, I see, that's you. Ugh, that's even worse. Hey, Anthony. It's Anthony. Who's Anthony? Anthony 2002, aka you. Never heard of him. Ah, totally not. Yes, totally. There's a flips table over. Spill the effing beans. Yep. So he failed to stop the lift in time, so the security officer climbing up was basically splat against the elevator, killing him instantly and leaving his body fall down the open hatch and hit him straight from above, paralyzing his limbs from the one within the elevator. Well, yeah. It's not a fun thing, but it's a thing that happened. Now, yes. Hi, remember me? Oh, train level number 353596444. Hello. Didn't mean to double tag. Yes. Hello. Yes. Hi. Do you all remember me? It's been a bit. Yes. Yes, we do. Left, yeah. Ooh, that's great to hear. Did you find the Pacific P16 yet? Yes, SnowRunner is nice because it's snow. Nice. Snow is nice. I myself did have to uninstall the game due to space issues, but I've played it in the past. Same. Okay, alright. Mountain is much less space costly. Yep, I do remember you. Yep, our group did have some fairly rational elevatorial trust issues. King Fango, no, I have not. I just fixed up and dragged a white Western Star rig out of the mud and trees. It is now a log carrying truck at the moment. Good, nice. Please, let's move on. Oh, nice. Well, I'm glad you're having fun. Boy. True, but that also has less features. But yeah. I'm not Anthony, he says. Of course not. So, let's get started replacing the textures. Slavic Eagle, how's the golf game going? Is it still going as good as you had hoped? Well, as good as it was going before. So you can see now I've used the fill grid, which actually brings up the bulk asset replace window, which actually used to be a different window, but it's now this same window, where I can now select in selected area, put the grass texture in here, the forest texture in there. Now I can use the grid selection thing to just select vast swaths of grass. Hold on, I've got to be a bit careful to only select swaths that I actually want to replace, like that. And then, oh, I used the wrong, hold on, I need to actually get the texture this way because it put the bush in there. One moment. There we are. And you can see now that's all already painted in forest textures and the rocks are still on top. So, yes, this is a much easier way of doing this. And I will touch some areas up with a little bit of the grass texture after I'm finished with this, because I do want some areas to have grass on them. Right, yeah, sure. The current pirate count doesn't, the pirate doesn't seem to be above, they're probably same, some want to be, probably, I don't know. Be a bit careful with that area down there, because I don't think that I want that area down there to be forested. I think I want that to remain grass. It would be so nice if you could have this on a 45-degree angle. As they broadcast on the same frequency range as the spark gap buzzer, making any music inaudible. I don't know. Anyway, I'ma shut my equipment down and keep watching here. Aw, thank you. This stream, I mean, thank you. As you can see, I'm in the process of putting down the forest, which the bulk asset replace tool is making much easier than it would otherwise be. Although with diagonals, of course, it is a little bit tricky, so I'll have to retouch some of these areas. I'll tell you what would be nice if for the bulk asset replace they had a selection brush. Should I plus best stream equals share? Yes, up to your old tricks again. Your old classic tricks. That wasn't right. I don't want the forest texture down there. So I've got to be a bit careful. I accidentally put it down in this bit. You brush over the entire area in which you want to replace stuff, and then you hit begin. I think it, or it could just be as you paint, so that it doesn't completely override the texture on this plat map, but just one of the channels on this plat map. But then again, with a game like this, you're always going to find room for improvements. And all works. I know math, no. I am as big of a genius as Einstein. Oh, well, congratulations. Wishful thinking. Wow. Wait, that's wishful thinking? You mean Anthony's message with that, or? That could work too. I think I'm going to do this bit manually, probably. It's probably going to be easier, really. Especially since it's on a 45-degree. Let's work back here first, since we can do large areas back here. Oops. Hold on. Now that's still not quite right. There we go. So, I think I should probably be able to fill pretty much all of this in with one click, if it doesn't crash. There we go. Probably save. Right. Right, XD, mine, but yeah. IQ of over 160? Just kidding. It was referring to mine. I am the dumbest genius? Well, congratulations. The golf game is finished. Lol. Right. Good. How did it turn out? What's better, being the smartest dummy or being the dumbest smarty? The smartest dummy? Probably. I think probably, yeah. Also, depending on how you interpret that, those two could be referring to the exact same individual. If you have like if you imagine it like two values, where one goes from 1 to 50, and the other one goes from 50 to 100, then if you have the lower one on the upper extreme and the higher one on the lower extreme, it's the same. Is that you're either a smart fella or a fart smeller joke? I don't think I've heard that term before. I think I'm just going to replace the color over here as well. A little bit down there as well. Nope, never even heard of that meme. Still no. Would you rather be a YouTuber or a tuber? Well, I don't think I would enjoy being a tuber. Although, if by YouTuber you mean someone who uploads videos on YouTube regularly, then that technically applies to me, even though I don't choose to wear that title. But no, it wasn't that. That's what it is, a meme. Yeah, but I don't get that meme. If I was a tuber, I might get eaten. Yep. Would you rather play Trainz or have Trainz play you? Well, I think the answer is obvious, isn't it? He says, playing Trainz. Trainz, yep, same here. Also, like, I play games, but I wouldn't want to wear the title of gamer. Yes. That only happens in Soviet Russia. What? The gamer? Title thing? Getting eaten as a tuber? I need to make sure that I get good selections with this grid, otherwise it'll take ages. Nowhere near as long as if I did otherwise, of course, but still it would take a long time. That too. Ah. Okay, and this little area back here, I think I can just leave as that, because we need to do terraforming here anyway. So there's not that much to do on this side of the valley. And after that, we'll hop over to the left. And on the left, it's going to be a little bit more trickier, because here I do want to pay attention not to change the color of the grass beside the ballast, because of course that's nearer to where the player is, so I don't really want to have to redo that and put all that effort and time into making it correct, basically. So is that everything over here? Let's have a quick look. Well, I still need to do some stuff down here, but I think I'll do that manually over here as well, this bit. So let's save. And since I've already got the textures and the bulk asset update tool up, I might as well do the right side now with the grid selection. Just so I don't have to then get it up later again. And yeah, so let's start over here. Ah, right, that's the angle we're going with. I see. So that would work. And then I can just select this entire large area. That, begin. There we go. It's a play on the In America U, in Soviet Russia U. Oh, right, I see. Yes. I was told by someone that running freight trains was boring, as they started to proceed with streaming a 7-hour high-altitude commercial flight on autopilot. Were they being serious about that? And if so, how much experience do you think they have driving freight trains? I mean, real life or simulated? Also, what was your response to them, if you responded to them? Because I know how you like your responses. That's interesting. Hours of cloud tops, not boring at all. In America, you play trains. In Soviet Russia, Trainz plays you. Ah, right. Yes. Well, not the flight stream, I meant the story. Interesting, right? Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of taste, interest. Yes, they were very serious about the train thing. Oh, they were? Well, I suppose people find different things interesting. Wait, a grayish blue one? New chat color? Oh sorry, before that. Maybe the streamer just did something else while having the stream running in the background during the day. I don't know. New chat color? Gotcha. Oh, it didn't work. Wait, it did work. It may have. It did. You're a great heel now. It worked. Great. You seem like a whole new man. Or your orange is gone. Right? Lol. Oh, there you are. Kango's color. How interesting. I didn't say anything and cast my vote by watching another stream. Ah, I see. It's probably the smartest thing you could have done in that case. Just not spend your time with it. If you don't find it interesting. Eek! Same as Kango. Now he's impersonating me! Shadowdice is gonna confuse us. Yes, I will definitely confuse you. So... No, I swear, I am the real Kango, it's me. No, I am. Ah, I see. Totally. I know, Shadowdice, ask us a question on the real Kango would know the answer to. Only, I am Kango! Thing is, all the questions that only you would know the answer to are all things that let's see. Okay. When was the last time that you had a failed multiplayer testing session? And by failed, I mean one that just either had lots of issues or one that just didn't happen. I find it perfectly fair. They like 7-hour cloud tops autopilot flights and find freight trains boring. I mean, I don't have to believe them after all. Yeah, of course it's fair. Everybody has different interests, different tastes. That's a bit too far, hold on. Yeah, this isn't great with diagonals. I suppose it might be better just doing this with a brush. This little work here. There must be something. You and 3002. Answer Shadowdice first. Yeah, go ahead. Answer Shadowdice first. Nah, you. I shall answer after. Also, I'm Kango Fango. He says, No. Turn your mate. Your turn, mate. Turn your mate. Okay, so which one do I shoot? None of them. None of them. I will not answer until you do. Which one is the sus one? Well, technically both, but yeah. Somewhere out in the world, there is at least one bald man who has torn all his hair out due to Trainz surveyor. Is that you, by any chance? Yeah, I mean, I'll probably do most of that work with brushes. Can't wait for Star Trek next time. Ooh, nice. Okay, I shall answer. It was yesterday. Yesterday! Okay, so you both win. I've come close, but no, thankfully. Yeah. And I also know why you said that. There was a test convoy planned for Sunday, but it didn't end up happening at all. Now I ask another one. Shadowdice this time, and I mean, fake Kango has to answer first. What has happened? There he is! Okay, you're the real Kango. I'm confused. Look, who's there hiding under the wig? What happened? It got blown off! Wahahaha! You were hiding under a wig of Kango! Well, there's a fake Kango. There's a fake Kango. What? Well, wait, there's a fake Kango? Yeah. Anthony 2002 accidentally, wink wink, posed as Kango just now. What? I am confused. That one's the fake one, and this doesn't do what? What? There was a fake Kango? How? Actually, we were hoping that you might shed some light on that, he said dramatically. Yeah. Who, what, when, where, why, how hides. Yeah, because the thing is that you probably don't know about fake Kangos is they never last. There's never in the history of redacted being a Kango that managed to be a fake Kango as well as not being uncovered. And that is totally true. Yes, I know that if they hadn't been uncovered, we technically wouldn't know about them being a fake Kango, and so that statistic is warped in just by nature of it being what it is. But we'll just ignore that, like a lot of other people seem to with a lot of other statistics. So, right. Yeah, denial of facts in front of judges. I've added that to the list. Well, while you're at it, you can add emotional assault to the list. Wink, wink. You can't behind the truth forever. You can't behind the truth forever. Yes, indeed. I am Kango. Kango. Come on, your game's up. Can you tell because it would be something like Kango? Something Kango? Maybe, who knows? Eliza, MD can tell you who the real Kango is in a matter of seconds. But MD is not here. Welp. I see. The hour of truth has struck. With a hammer? No, it isn't. No, it's not. Hides behind. Oh, right. So this is going fairly well. Puts on a disguise to get to the bottom of this. Ooh. Are you going to do it Pink Panther style? That was very, very funny. Peter Sellers as Pink Panther with the disguises. Okay. Almost done with this bit, and then I'll go... Oops, I didn't click that button apparently. And then I'll go over it with a brush. Over the areas that need to still be painted. And then all I need to do is put some grass lines down, and then that's this bit finished, and then we can continue. It's a fake, I tell ye. Oh, you could get that gif of the Romulan with "It's a fake" from that one episode of DS9. What was it? Is it In the Pale Moonlight? Might be the episode In the Pale Moonlight. Hold on, let me look that up. DS9 In the Pale Moonlight. Enlists Garrick's help to persuade their own... with mounting losses in the Federation Dominion War and the Spectre of Defeat, Captain Sisko enlists Garrick to help persuade the Romulans to join the Federation Klingon alliance to win the war. However, Sisko soon learns that to save the Federation, he may have to betray the values it stands for. Yes, In the Pale Moonlight, that was the episode. The one with the "It's a fake," where that meme comes from. There we go. See? It's a fake. See, that's the one. I mean, right there. It's a fake. Told ya. Is that animated by any chance? Nope. Anyway. It's not that's the fake. All mysterious cases are best solved while wearing a disguise. Yep. That is a truth which has been bestowed upon us. This is really annoying. With the diagonals... Hold on. I guess I'll just do it like this. That's probably the fastest. Because going around all of these rocks would take longer. So let's just do it like this, and then I'll go over it later. That was the joke. Okay. Anthony Saracen 2, there's the evidence I'm always careful not to forget the apostrophe when it's necessary. Alright, Trainz, I am gonna hop off now. Have a good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you for stopping by. It's always nice having you. Bye-bye. Wahaha. Sure, we can wrap up the court scene off stream. Bye. In a fainting voice. Also, I'm the fake. Ha 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 ha. Good, fun you're admitting it. Oh, and now you're back. Yes, the original is coming through again. Anthony, can you hear me? Has the fake Kango left you? No. Was the fake Kango ever within you? Bye, bye. Yes. Sure. See ya. Bye-bye. Unless you're just gonna lurk. You might just lurk. Who knows? Because you did say one time that you sometimes lurked in streams. You just say bye-bye and you go and you don't go. Just in case the streamer says they say something about you while they think that you're not there. So that might be what's happening. Who knows? You've been on a bit of a nostalgia trip recently, so you might return with that as well. I promise you, this may look very frustrating, but it is actually speeding up the process. Probably. Yeah, it's definitely speeding up the process, especially in these larger areas. Hey, maybe that's also a reference to that one stream from back then. Maybe? That's what I meant with the nostalgia thing. Maybe it would have been quicker if I had just painted, if I just filled in the forest texture and then painted on the rocks on that, and then painted on the grass. That may have been quicker. But that's not the workflow that I usually use, so I didn't even think of doing it that way here. I typed that before you said it though, but yeah, okay, I see. Oh, sorry. There we are. Goodness gracious, it's been so long since I have streamed TRS 19. Yes. It's also been very, very long since you last streamed building in C2. With the UK 3 route? What was it? July with UK 3 route? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Like I just said. Okay, so let's see. Are there any obvious areas where I can, I can do a big box here. I can do another box there. And most of this is probably best done, probably best done in form of brushwork. Not as long, right? Yeah. So long, yes. Let's see, maybe this little bit there might help. A little bit down there. Just trying to reduce the amount of brushwork that I have to do as much as possible. Also here, because you can see that the grass texture is fading with the rock. So I kind of have to use the replace here if I want to keep that fade without having to redo it. Okay, so save. Hopefully it won't crash. It'll wake me up when it's done. Oh, right. Ah, yes. Thank you for waking me up. Very much appreciated. Cuckoo! Doodly doo, as some might say. So, now it's time to work with brush. Yeah, in the areas like this, it is quicker with a brush, but in bigger areas, it's quicker with the other tool. Yeah, but sometimes you do have to kind of go over some areas to get a transition that you want, which with a copy-paste you don't have to do. Well, with a fill-in you don't have to do because, well, it literally replaces the texture. On the splat map, that is. Okay, just put that down there. Put that along here. I'm gonna leave it. I'm going to leave it. Never mind. Also, it looks like I'm going to have to delete some trees down here. Unless I want them to be on the... No, I'm going to have to delete some of them down here. Hold on. To your hats. Actually, I might even have a little bit of a grassy stripe there. That might look quite nice. Re-add a little bit of that in. Maybe that'll make it look a little bit more alpine. I don't know. I'll be going to. Okay, well, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a restful night. Bye-bye, VGR. Also, I need to move some of these trees up. Do you think that there are cuckoo clocks which have a raven coming out saying nevermore instead of cuckoo bird saying cuckoo? That, I would estimate that as being quite probable. I would search for nevermore clock. Also, if you're ever gonna listen to UVB76, make sure you're prepared for a ritual because you never know. Yes, thank you for the warning. Okay, that all looks... actually, that looks okay. Now, just need to do this here. Yep, thanks for coming. along there, like I just said. Just a little bit along here. A little bit more there. Well, here we go. Oh, so it is a thing. You were right. Thank you for recognizing my correctness, I guess. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? Thank you for recognizing my correctness. That sounds like... No. That's not what I wanted to sound like. Because that sounds bad. Right. Correctilinity. Correctilinity. Oh, you mean like salinity? Salinity. See, now this is already looking much better with the correct textures everywhere. Well, I say everywhere. If they were everywhere, then I wouldn't really have to paint them on, would I? Righteousness? Maybe, but righteousness, even though it might mean that, technically the word has other associations. Yeah, this is true. Okay, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. And then we'll be done. In more ways than one. Done, done, done. Yes, in that way as well. I suppose a little bit of that might look quite nice up here. Well, I'm probably going to reduce the speed from 35 to like 25 over here. Which, so I don't forget, I might as well do now. So, show the thing, get the speed limit. Let's change it. Let's change it here, just before we get on the bridge. So 25 going that way, and then 35 going the other way. Wow, really? Yeah. I mean, you've got to be prepared to stop in case of rockfall on this bit. I mean, just look at this. With these cliffs on the side there, if there's rockfall here, you've got to stop in time. And with these curves, you wouldn't be able to see it either. And it's not going to be a very long branch anyway. Done in more ways than one. All right. Actually, I gotta quickly check something. One moment, because that just froze a bit there. One moment. I'll be with you shortly. No, the stream isn't over, don't worry. I just need to... Hold on. Stream's A-okay here. Ah, well that's good, but I still would like to check the site if everything is good. One moment, yes. Your patience is much appreciated. No, that does all look good. Alright, well, okay, then let's continue. Thank you for your patience. And not just because the hospitals are being given money, but, I mean, patience as in, you know what I mean, like the normal, common use of the word, as in having patience in as in waiting patiently. Good. Oh. I ran today. A significant distance at that. Right, so this bit needs to have these textures painted underneath. Maybe not everywhere, maybe just underneath where the trees actually are. That way there might be a little bit more variety, maybe? A patience as in patience, not as in patience, right? No, you got the wrong way around. Ran? Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. It was a nice day for it. It was sunny, somewhat warm, a bit windy. And yes, I did run out of necessity, not out of recreation. Was it a 10 mile or a quarter mile? Patience. Yeah, patience. It was patience, yes. I ran out of necessity, not out of spite. Spite. Was that a reference to HMS Warspite? What did you run from, Jarvis? I ran from a time limit, basically. And I did beat it. Just about. Ish. I mean, technically I beat it, but only if you look at it one way. If you look at it the other way, then I didn't, but I kind of did. Nope, not a reference. Alright. I think this needs a little bit of the grassy texture. Not that one. I meant the grass one. There was a fish involved as well? No. The monster under the bed? No, that stayed under your bed. It's still there. Did it chase you? No. Heyo, glad you could make it back. Yes. Sorry, it took longer than planned. That's fine. Important thing is you're back. Don't worry. What? Ugh! No, don't worry. He said don't worry. I know it's referencing the monster under the bed. Because of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? And I think I am going to connect these a little bit. Just looks a bit better. Okay, now it's time to paint this bit over here. With a little bit of a bigger brush, just a little bit. So, when you looked into its eyes, what did it make you feel? I'm assuming you're asking Albastru. True. Denny worry, laddie, 'tis a tame monster. Wouldn't hurt a hamster. Yes, and luckily Albastru is indeed a hamster, so you're good. Would nay. Would nay worry, lad? Ha ha ha. You've revealed my secret? Ah, you mean that you're a Roman hamster back from the SPQR days. Is that your secret? If so, sorry for revealing it. Okay, just kind of painting in here. I didn't know it was a secret until now. Well, it isn't a secret now, because everybody knows. So you only found out that it was a secret when it technically wasn't a secret anymore. I mean, we all knew it secretly, didn't we? Yes, of course. I mean, wasn't it obvious all along? I would say it is, yes. Okay, so after I finish painting the forest ground texture here, I'm going to go over the road area with a grass brush again, just a little bit, because that'll make it a little bit more visible from the track side if there are two shades of green there. All little hints to Just Dance 3 and that. We all know that hamsters like to dance. Ha Shall I say the road area? Ha! It would be roads if it's spelled like that. Unless you mean Rhode Island. And not just the city of Rhodes on Rhode Island. I think it's on an island. The city of Rhodes, right, yeah? The city of Rhodes was on an island, yes? With the Colossus. Can someone please... Albastro, you remember that, surely? It wasn't an island, wasn't it? Yes, I do, and don't call me Shirley. Yeah, see, just a little bit like this, just on the edges. Just so it's a little bit clearer to see from the outside. Can confirm XX. Good. Good to know, good to know. Yes. Good day, out. Does that mean that you're actually going or not? Because I don't think it does, but if it does, then bye-bye. But I don't think it does. I think you'd be a bit clearer with that if it did. How does that look from this side? Yes, now you can just see some little flashes of green there. Both. Aww. So it's a joke and you're going. I just got a fun picture of my truck with one wheel way up in the air as it is just barely making it around a steep corner. Well, if you'd like to post it on Discord, I'd love to have a look at it later. Did you get a chance to talk to the Colossus before they turned him into bronze? Turned him to bronze? What do you mean turn him to bronze? The word Colossus meant statue. So even a statue this size, a statuette some might say, was still called Colossus. Of course, when the Colossus at Rhodes, the statue at Rhodes, was built, the term eventually came to mean only that Colossus, which is also where we get colossal from. Colossal meaning as big as the Colossus at Rhodes. So there you go. Did you, Ms. Naps, oh, that's nice, I'd love to see too. Unfortunately not. Should have got the priority pass, really. Yeah. Yes, yes, but I didn't know his name before they turned him into a bronze Colossus. Interesting. I know, right? They would have let you fly with the Pegasi and everything. What do you mean? There only was one Pegasus. Pegasus in Greek myth isn't a species of creature. It's just one individual creature that I believe was born from Medusa's neck when she was decapitated, along with some other creatures which may or may not include the Chimera. I don't know for certain about that one. But I think there were 3 creatures that were born in that moment. Yes, Greek tales, happy as always. Huh. That's what they tell you. Can confirm, I was Medusa's midwife. Ah. So you were, yeah, I see. Which one? Awful, really. In this day and age. Or that day and age, rather. Yes. Goodness me. It's been a busy few years for me, you see. Please elaborate. Albastro, I never knew Medusa had a midwife hamster. A Roman midwife hamster. Which is funny because Rome probably wasn't even founded when the story takes place, because the story, if I recall correctly, is from the Bronze Age or even earlier maybe. And of course Rome was founded in the Iron Age. At least I'm fairly sure. Double check that. I'm a little uncertain. I think it was founded in the Iron Age, but please double check that if you're going to use that as a reference for anything. Yeah, because it had to have been after the Bronze Age collapse. Of course, they still used the majority of bronze and things, but yeah, because the Bronze Age collapse was what, like... when was the Bronze Age collapse? Like 8,000 BC? One moment, hold on. Gotta quickly look this up. Bronze Age collapse. Which is where the Sea Peoples came. No. Huh. No. I misremembered. Not 8,000. I meant 800 BC, of course, but no, it's like 1200 BC. Yeah. And I don't think Rome was founded then yet. Let's see. City of Rome. Does it say anywhere? Oh, founded, there we go. Founded 753 BC. So no, it was founded hundreds of years after the Bronze Age collapse. So there you go. Now, of course, well, interesting thing is, which Albastro can attest to being a Roman and all that, and that is that before years started to be counted from Christ's supposed birth, namely AD, which is Anno Domini, meaning the year of the Lord or our Lord, and BC, before Christ. The years, at least in large parts of the European world, or rather Roman European world, were counted from Rome's founding. So, yeah, so that's why we know when Rome was founded, because we use that as a point of reference for counting years for literally hundreds of them. Now, of course, that doesn't make it 100% certain, but it makes it very, very certain. So, let's save and then have a little bit of a fly through, see what that looks like. Also, the thing with BC and AD, which is very clearly distinguishable, and BC, is it BCE? Yeah, before Common Era, so CE and BCE, which is very hard to distinguish over communications, is that they're still using the same reference point. So if people say, oh, I'm using CE and BCE for Common Era and before Common Era, because I don't want it to be connected to Christianity, Okay, sure. But why... Okay, you don't want it to be connected to Christianity, then why do you use that specific year 0 as year 0? That is a monumental event if we use that specific point as our year 0. Well, why do we do that? Well, because that's when Christ was supposedly born. So we go back to that. So to me, that doesn't make that much sense. But if you would like to argue that point, please go ahead. Please, I'm interested. It just doesn't make that much sense to me. Anyway, you don't have to argue it, of course, if you don't want to, but I welcome the conversation. So, right. Where were we? It definitely sounds like it. How so? I think that sums it up for you both. Midwife Hamster probably only turned Roman later on. But that must mean that he was alive before then. Roman hamsters need a lot of training to deliver a Pegasus, as I'm sure you can imagine. Oh, how small are the eggs? Small? They were huge! I see. Did you need chiropractic counseling afterwards? It is in the Discord now. Thank you. I'll have a look at it after the stream. Fly! This is Trainz. And CE Mini. Yep. That's lovely. From the picture, it almost looks like you're in a cave. Probably because it's much easier to do that than have half the Western world use a different year. Yeah, it makes sense, but if you go to the trouble of changing the letters because you don't want it to be connected to this particular religion, this particular event, or set of religions, then, which by the way, the letters that were chosen with common here, CE and BCE, are hard to distinguish audibly. And it can be so easily mistyped. If you type something up and just you meant to type BCE, but you type CE, then you won't know that it's been mistyped. Whereas with AD and BC, that is very easily distinguishable. You can't accidentally type one while you mean the other. So if you go to all that trouble, then why would you still use the same word? Everyone would say, yeah, for convenience sake. Well, if you're going to keep that connection anyway, for convenience sake, to that religion, then what's the point in changing the letters in the first place? I myself am not of that religion, or of any really, but I see the value in the history of that, and the value in the convenience of keeping it, as well as being able to easily distinguish the two, and having a built-in protection against typos. But yeah, that's what I think about that. At least for the time being. I might change my mind, who knows? May I post the link to the picture in Twitch chat? It's the year 112 or something in North Korea. Oh, interesting. I'm not religious, but I use both myself. Yeah, and you can do that. You can absolutely do that. Would it be good if... I mean, I'm not religious myself either. But would it be good if every country started to count their years from the point where they were founded? That is a ridiculously hilarious and ludicrous idea at the same time. Could you imagine all the issues that would cause? I mean, if you want international talks to break down, that is an easy way of doing it, alone due to the confusion that it would cause and delays. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. I'm, of course, going to need to add some things. So now we can get started with the river. Yeah, sure. Right. Oh, let's have a look at the picture. Oh, yes. It does look like you're in a cave. Probably are. Nice picture. Thank you. That would cause international problems. So that's Mr. Snipes' pick from Discord. Yes, true. Wahahaha. Ah, I see how it is. Okay, I'm going to put on the no payware filter so I don't accidentally paint on payware stuff. Hold on, didn't I just click on it? I thought I clicked on it. So let's have a look. Let's go to these textures. Let's go... Which variant do I want to do this? I think probably put the ones with the most foam in first. And then... Ooh, that needs to, I think, be a little bit larger, maybe. Maybe not, I don't know. Let's see what the size... Oh, no, the size was already... Okay, just a different texture. So, yes, just... Row, row your boat gently down the rapids. Merrily, 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 now you're underwater. Row, row, row your boat gently down the rapids. Merrily, 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 now the lifeguard saved your life. I may have to make the river wider at certain parts. And no, I'm not going to leave it just as one texture. Gonna rechat in a little bit. Okay, here's the waterfall. So now let's continue up here. And yes, it makes sense for it to be a bit broader up here. So that's good. Although I am very much aware that all this water is leading into the lake at Nothasia, which doesn't really drain anywhere. Originally, when I made that lake, it was just a little stream going into it. And then, of course, whatever water came from the dam, which wasn't a whole lot, because it was even dried up. But with all of this here, I may have to put in a drain for the lake at some point. Probably don't even need to fill this in because I'm probably going to have mostly blue textures in here. And it can have some little pebbly beaches or shores along here. If I really wanted to, that is. Okay, so what's the difference between that texture and this texture? Oh, well, it's offset slightly differently. Let's not do that yet. Let's put in a little bit of this texture first. I'm just layering the textures over each other, and then it'll hopefully look good. Ah, there's text. Hold on. It's really coming together, this canyon section. Will be a joy to travel when it's done. Thank you. I think so too. Glad to hear you're having fun. 4 superpowers discuss their next talks. Country A. When shall we meet? Country B. In year 175. Country C. 175? That's 40 years away. Country D. What? That was a decade ago. Yep. Have you ever played SnowRunner multiplayer, Mr. Snipes? I have not. Sorry, at first I thought you had meant SnowRunner with that. I didn't think I knew anyone that would even have the game. Alright, same. Oh, and yeah, I was also complimenting how this route was coming along. I do have it on Epic Games Store, bought it in 2020 when they hadn't released it on Steam yet, but that seems to have a bug where while the game gets updated it takes double the space, and since at the time I just about have enough space for the game itself, this did become an issue, so I installed it. That referring to Epic Games Store. Gotcha, I really like how it's come along as well, thank you. Very scenic indeed, XD, exactly. I really enjoy SnowRunner, it gives me the same joy I had as a young kid playing with toy trucks in the sandbox. I guess that's a good way of putting it. SnowRunner, I got it. Lonely, Brent, and Marjan too. Well, there you go. Suddenly, you've got people who've got it. I may also rotate some of these textures as we go on, because it's a bit ridiculous having them all rotate the same way. Probably. Great. I think I've got it on Epic Games Store too, but I've not got it installed because of space issues. I've also never really played it. Imagine back in the good old days when you could just leave a river like this and be happy with it. Those were the days. Some might argue those days were never here, because you could even with very early Trainz versions you could do much better than this. But I'm referring to the good old days when I didn't really know how to properly use Trainz, and so I was just playing around with it, learning as I went. Everybody ready for the next layer? Yes, good. Which will be this one. Now, do I want this brush size? I think so. Gonna reach out in a little bit. Also, Kangafangi, you're having another ETS2 or ATS minigame stream tomorrow, correct? And yeah, I'm just going to start rotating the texture because that'll just make it so much easier. Right. Yeah, now you can add mist and boulders and all sorts of fancy things. I've spent about a week doing boulders around the water on my route, and it's almost done, at least the task. Wait, do you mean... In Trainz? Mist? Oh, do you mean particles that you can place down, or is that a new feature? What do you mean about that? Or are you still talking about Snow? I'm confused. Sure is. What's right? ETS stream minigames. Ah, thanks. It is planned. Yes. There is a There's a canoe asset. You should put a character stranded with their canoe half sunk. Maybe I'll do that. ATS was planned at first, but due to one player not having it, the plan has been steered more towards ATS, more towards ETS2. Ah, yes, there is waterfall particles for Trainz. Yes, there are. I've not used them for fog or mist yet. I just tend to when I want to do that, I just tend to use the environmental settings, because I don't know if you know this, but the environmental settings in Trainz are actually saved in the session. So you can have one session with completely different environmental settings, and that includes skybox, lighting, so sunlight, ambient light, shadows, fog density, all of that. And it's going to be completely unique to that. So you can have a different session with completely different settings. That's a bit too big. So yeah, I usually use that if I want to have it foggy. And yes, I have in the past used waterfall particles as well on some of my routes. I've even used them on the Cold Mountains route, which currently is in skip beta request, because it already went through several beta testing cycles, and there's only one ticket left, and I put in a workaround for it. So now I want to skip the beta. I hope it doesn't take years to get a response, because if it does, then, well, it's gonna have been a pretty good waste of time, a lot of it, because that basically means that it won't come out at that point. But we can hope. It probably won't. Anyway, I can inquire using emails and things like that as well. See, this is already starting to look better, isn't it? I can maybe even put it in a little island here or something, if it's wide enough. I don't know. Things back here, I don't need to put that much detail in, because that's going to get terraformed anyway. Okay, let's just put in the final texture, and I will probably go over with some of the other textures in a later pass to just give it a little bit more details in places. But for now, I think one pass will work. So I'm using this stronger blue just to give some areas a little bit more depth. Not all the areas, because otherwise it'll look uniform again, which I don't want it to. Or samey, I guess. It won't look natural, basically. Like, for example, where there are these big curves in here, I'm not going to put it in, because that is a good place for it to be a little bit more shallow, because for it to have a little bit more foam in it as well. That's what I mean. Need to put a little bit more of this blue in here, where it's quite broad, broadly speaking. Leaving a little bit more of the foam on the edges, where the shore is a bit closer. Should probably save. A little bit back there as well. Even though I'll probably redo that bit. So I think that looks quite nice. With the exception of this little bit, but that's fine. Okay, so sure, let's see. Gotta be honest, when they took the series in the American direction with the Mudrunner American Wilds DLC, and then even more so with Mudrunner, I at first wasn't sure that I liked the idea, because the series did originally have the very Russian feel to it, but I do really like it now. Great to have a game that properly brings back the old Pacifics and all that. Correct Canoe Island! Well, let's do that then. Mr. Snipes, I have played in ETS2, ATS Convoys with Slovak Eagle, and those others a fair few times, and it's great fun. Sure is, that looks gorgeous. Sure is, even more so with SnowRunner. Alright. So, well, let's put in the island, if I can find the correct asset. So let's just put in a little bit. I want it to be a bit like that. And then kind of come back like this. And, of course, that's not very impressive the way it is. It's also not very easy to see. So I'm just quickly going to raise this up till there, and then bring it back that way. And then I've got to paint it. So I think I'm probably going to paint it in the rock texture. Maybe put in a few pebbles. Hold on. Maybe the pebbles would look better. Huh, no, not like that. Small scale. Or are these too low quality? These might be a bit too low quality actually. Maybe if I look for shore. Yep. Beach. FX Beach? No. Well, let's just look for Pebble. KS Pebbles, nope. Hold on, wasn't there a different pebble texture? Stones? No, there's just... No, not that. Riverstone! Will that work? It will, but it doesn't quite fit in. These are just too dark. This... No, I don't like it. I don't like bringing in another color in here. Another texture, color variant. I think I'm just going to use the rock texture with a little bit of grass on top and probably a little bit of foam on the sides. Yes, that is to go, please. Okay. Now you should be able to see the shape a little bit better. Okay. Ooh, I quite like that actually. Really quite like that. What would it look like with a little bit of grass on top? That work better or will it better or worse? I do like it, but actually I do like it. Just a little tiny bit of grass up top. Okay, now is there, let's see, do I have the canoe asset? Hold on. Let's see. Or what is it called? Maybe kayak? Nope, I don't know what that is called. Maybe boat? Just look for boat. Hold on, I'll switch this to manage content as thumbnails. Very quickly. Just have a quick look. And we've got rowboats, but I don't think that is what you meant, because it's not a canoe. I mean, we don't have to do this now. I can always place that on there later if I can't find it. Let's see. Not that many more to go. I suppose I could use a longboat. No, tell you what. I'm going to put down a rowboat. As a placeholder. No, not that one. This one. Right, probably on the other side, since it's tilted that way, unless I can... Nope, I can't roll it. Hello, Splitter Gaming! Now the gang is mostly all here. Row, row, row your boat. Yes, we've already had that. Row, row, row your boat gently down the rapids. Merrily, 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 now you're in the water. So, I want to see if I can find... Oh. No, the ski guy, hold on. Yes, there's a ski man, people skier. I think that that would fit quite nicely with the boat. Is he actually sitting on there or in there? Hold on. Not quite how I wanted. Maybe like this might be a bit better. Hold on. Yes, there we go. Do I need to move him down a little bit? No. Was that right? Yes. So there we go. If I do find a canoe, I'll probably replace it, but I think that is quite good because it isn't too obvious because it has basically the same color as the river. So let's get a thumbnail. I'll rechat in a bit. Also, we haven't put in the waterfall yet, I know. Hold on, I might as well get into the flying camera. And then increase the render distance. Let's increase it to like 10 kilometers, even though we probably don't need that. I think that might be a good thumbnail. Yeah, I think that'll do nicely. So where was I? Are there some good TS09 ones? I'm not sure I don't know what you mean. Shredders, will the river also get a song? Probably not. That actually looks good. You sound surprised. If you put grass on top, you've got to put a tree on top. No, I don't want to put a tree on top. The grass is just a very thin layer. Also, I've remade and submitted my first ever repaint to the DLS. Should be available for download very soon. Nice. Things we need more of in Trainz. 1. Canoes. 2. Little bins. 3. Up-to-date Brunel GWR broad gauge stuff. And a lot of other stuff as well. The yellow KB sound texture with a red speaker icon. Seen that so many times. Row, row, row your boat. Ah, you have been spotted. Now, that's not how the lyrics go, can go. XD. But it could be sung into the tune. Mr. W, we need you in here to complete the classic community reunion. Brant as well, and some of the others. I remember that as the two. People skier too. Yep, I meant to say earlier, that boat blends in perfectly. Thumbnail! Indeed. Indeed. That's a texture as the river or a river spline? It's texture. It is textures. These ones, even though the actual resolution is low, they are actually reflective, as you can see there. So they do reflect, they have normal maps, and they actually look pretty good at a distance. So yes, if I go over here, then it becomes pretty clear that they are textures. But this bit isn't finished because, of course, the map doesn't continue on this bit. So yes, basically. The valley. Yes, now that is a good thumber. Lovely colors in chat. Yes. Sure, Mr. Snipes, you're a nice pine green here to me. For me, you're very deep blue. Sure, TS09 ones repel extra. Oh, I see. He's the same orange color as you, Kango. Oh no, not another imposter. I see a bit more orange than Kango myself. Ah, I'm orange. And Mr. Snipes, yes. So, with that, I just need to pretty much just place a couple more trees just in the hopes of it not crashing when I, or bushes, when I resave, because I don't know if I saved. Also, Sweater, since I have you here, will you be playing in Kango's ETS2 or ATS stream tomorrow. I'd call it a slightly deep mustard color. Yes, but sure. A rich mustard, that's what I'd call my color. It's been ages since I've had mustard. Both kernel and regular. Oh, 15 minutes over time. That's good. Yes, Kangafango. And if you go more orange, that slightly deep mustard, you get what I'm saying. ETS2 and probably says yes. Probability says yes. Nice. Do you have ATS as well? While you're catching up, I'll just do the outro. So thank you all very much for watching. This stream will be archived on YouTube along with anybody who's watching. Well, no, sorry, I can't say that. That's top secret. And Kangafango streams on Sunday tomorrow. Multiplayer ATS or no ETS2, sorry. And yes, I have it. Yep, it can be calculated. You have ATS, great. Because at some point I would love to also play some of those mini games with the trucks. And I think with the one where what is, I think, Delivery Detective you called it, or you being the group. I would love to do that in ATS, because there the distances, I think, feel bigger some of the time. So if that were possible. But anyway, we've got the Civ 6 game to finish, and then I would love to do that, because it would have to go in the MISC slot. I see. We will be archived. Oh my god, yes! I see. Let's go. Yay, I'd love to do so too. Shredder's Hideaway Hideout is what we've played before. That's not the one I meant. Runners and Chasers? Yes. Trucks. The rectangular shaped minions on the road. Well, depends on which country you're in. Delivery Detective is what's planned for tomorrow. Delivery Detective, yes. That's the one that I would really... I mean, the other one is really fun as well, but that's the one that I would like to give a try at some point. Aren't those buses? Yes. Anyway. Good bus? Good bus. Let's have a look. Yes, good bus. But they are also carrying people. Would they be called minionettes? Maybe, but minionette sounds a bit too close to bayonet for my taste. So, although it also sounds close to Smurfette, and so that might balance it out a bit. So, we already did part of the outro. Everybody's here. I mean, I could go on for ages, except for that I'm a bit tired because it's Saturday. But, yeah. Luigi-net, yeah. Marionette. So, Warionette, yes, I know. So, good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. It's good to have seen everybody in chat again. For some of you, it's been a while. And I'm glad you had fun. So, that's pretty much it. There it is, tarts. Just chatting category. I mean, if I had the time slots for another stream, weekly stream, then I'd probably use something else, because to be honest, the Trainz building streams are large part chatting. So Peternet, Toadenet, wait, Brownsonet, that exists. Indeed. Yeah, see ya. Bye bye. Spidar, everybody. Fango, Mr. Snipes. Bye bye. Bye YouTube, indeed. Many thanks for the great stream and wonderful shoutouts. Thank you. Bye bye.